For joining us on today's edition of the Market Report, ATBN Television. My name is Adefola Olamilekun. On today's edition of the show, our focus is in two parts. First, we're looking at a very current issues in Nigerian economic aspect, talking about energy deficit that has become a cost on small businesses in Nigeria. Power inelasticity and inconsistencies has become a challenge to Nigerians. The country's inconsistent power supply and high electricity tariff creates significant hurdles for business owners who rely on steady, affordable energy sources to maintain operation of small and medium-sized enterprise. About 96% of businesses in Nigeria create about 84% of employment in the private sector. These businesses therefore play a crucial role in the engine of future economy and current economy of Nigerian growth. In 2024 alone, these businesses mainly provided services that contributed about 57.38% to Nigerian GDP in the fourth quarter of 2024. And just recently, in 2025 first and second quarter, we have seen enormous contribution of small businesses to Nigerian economy. Despite this immense potential, SMES in Nigeria are struggling to survive, with over 50% of them falling within their first year of operation as a result of high cost of energy. This alarming failure rate is largely attributed to several challenges, but energy cost has become the most disturbing problem of small businesses in Nigeria. Joining me on the show today is Dr. Emmanuel Ovuede, who will be helping us to understand why this problem still persists. And Dr. Ovuede also happens to be an entrepreneur who operates business chain here in Abuja as well as in Delta State. Doc, a very good day to you and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I see you can hear from my intro. It's about power problem, electricity power problem for businesses in Nigeria, particularly small businesses. But entrepreneur like you, how have you guys been able to cope within the period that this problem has become so consistent in Nigeria?
Well, it's not that easy, but we just have to move on with it because we understand every business you do, entrepreneur and the rest, power becomes the ultimate part of it. If you want to excel, you must understand the use of power in your businesses and your entrepreneur whatsoever. And without the use of power, you are just wasting your time. And most of the times, most of the people who can withstand the alternative of getting whatsoever, they are closing down their business on daily basis. So the power is the major thing that we need as this country is concerned. I was having a discussion yesterday in a meeting, and I said, as big as Nigeria, that we can be boast of power is a shameful thing to us, because most of the country in the world today who are having the private sectors and the rest, it's due to power. Because without power, any economies you want to build, you must build it through power. Any country you see doing well today, check their powers, check their electricity, check they are doing well. There are constant power holding 24 hours, and you see businesses growing there. You see them generating funds to the state, to the country, and to the revenue of the country, and you see them generating funds because they are paying their tax. So if this must take place, we must understand the use of power, and everybody can be like us who manage it, who can afford maybe getting a solar.
I'm coming to that because a lot of people are saying that businesses should embrace solar power or alternative sources. But as an entrepreneur like yourself, how is it being like, engaging alternative source when the one that we're supposed to rely on, which is the national grid, is giving us problems? So what has been the cost for you using solar so far?
Yeah, although the same thing is not that easy, but I think it's helpful because when we are not proud of the power, we have to give an alternative, and the alternative is seeking for solar. You understand? And sometimes the solar will also fail because when there's no light or whatsoever, when there's no sun or whatsoever, the solar will also fail, and we'll still fall back to running of diesel and the rest to make sure you generate what you want to generate there. But not everybody can go to that length, can go to that cost, can bear the cost of acquiring solar. And sometimes your business, if you want to empower your business with solar, it's taking a lot. It's taking much from you. And not everyone has such courage and such audacity to go and acquire solar. Because sometimes you're going to get solar of 10 million over a business of 3 million. We are running shortage. I don't think it's going to work. It's just only a few who can manage the situation, who can manage the system. Everybody can manage this. Mostly this little scale business, you're telling them to go and get a solar to, it's not going to be possible. And that is where we still need the government in terms of power.
I think talking about the government, sorry for bottling you in. Talking about the government, just recently President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed into law the National Electricity Act 2023 that allows state government, private sector to also go into this generation of electricity, transmission of electricity, and distribution of electricity across Nigeria. So we now have a law that allows private sector and government, I'm talking about government now, I'm talking about subnational government, coming into it. But from your own understanding, why is it that up to now we just have 7 states that have indicated much interest in this new electricity act that we're having?
Although the president has passed it on, and it's less for the state governors and the rest government to embrace it, to kick off with it. But many of them don't understand the use of power. One thing is to know that this is power. Another thing is to understand the use.
That is electricity power.
Electricity power. So one thing is to understand the use. They are comfortable with their comfort zone. But is others comfortable in their comfort zone? No. And one thing I want them to understand, most of our state government and the rest should understand that this electricity power is also building the state. It's generating flow to the state. Because if I have a little business and there is power and I'm working 24 hours, I'm selling, I pay my tax. I grow my business, I pay my tax. So, and the tax doesn't go to the nation, it goes to the state. It also contributes to the revenue. It contributes to the revenue of the state and it increases the revenue of the state. But many of them do not understand this platform at all.
I want to get you right here in this regard, because when you say many of them don't understand, they have come out to say, not just the government alone, even private investors have also come out to say it's not easy to invest in electricity power generation. But are we going to be saying because they don't have much money to invest in electricity power, they should look aloof, just like what you are pointing to say? But the question I want to push out is that, why are they so slack in engaging with PPP, that means public-private partnership, to bring about power in their state? Because it's very crucial. For the federal government have tried on its own part, it has engaged IPP, PP in the area of electricity, but at the state level, we are still finding it so difficult.
Okay, now, let me use this. So years back, in my local government, the local government chairman brought some investors that were investing into power sector. And I was in the meeting. I was privileged being in the meeting. We discussed. It's a very nice one. We're going to get power for 24 hours. There's not going to blink of light. We're going to have it 24 hours. And seeing the view is going to help the local government to grow. Not just for the, it's going to help you to grow massively. Any local government that is growing, check the use of power there. But suddenly I understand that they said the power holder and the power whatsoever made a protest and said, if this is going to happen, these people are going to bring their electric pole and their wires. That means they are not in support of this. Okay. The reason I'm bringing this now is because many of the state government are not in support on private sector investing into light in their state. Because I came to understand that many of the state governments are getting something behind. Many of them are into association of generator, plant, selling of fuel and diesels, and immediately this power comes in. These people will lose their market.
Although I quite agree with you to an extent, because we have had issue whereby because of the continued extension of importation of generator into the country, a lot of allusion have been put out that this has to do with the elite in Nigerian society. But let's go down in a way that we can begin to suggest solutions to some of these issues that we have raised, because it would be nice for our viewers for us just identifying the problem without providing solution. But in your own understanding, you are an entrepreneur. Share your experience with our viewers on how you're able to solve the power challenge in engaging and ensuring that your business continues to run.
Okay, that's a good one. To me, I think we should look beyond the government. We should look beyond the government on what we can do to arrest the situation of power. Not only in our state, not only in our local government, in our environment as well. At least it's going to take some time, but it's doable. It's what we can do. And the reason I say so is what we can do. For instance, I suggested something recently for some certain areas. So let's come together to arrest these issues. By each of the streets, those who can do it, come together to see what we can do in terms of donation, to acquire some other solar systems that will cover a large areas. That will cover a large areas of that area, of that vicinity, environment, so that in those you don't even need the government at that point in time. You are good to go. And sometimes we keep pushing on this on the government, but they are hearing and they don't want to interfere into it. They give deft ear into it, and we can't fold our hands to allow it happen. So I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4 who can come together and say, what are we going to do to arrest these situations?
I think what we are suggesting has also been hampered by Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, who have now calling on their members to see how they can create opportunities for microgrid. Microgrid can be gotten via solar alternative energy source, and they have been doing a lot of campaign in that region. And for no suggestion, I think that's what you are trying to push forward among your members. But it's quite cost intensive. So how are you guys be able to manage to be able to gather money and involve yourself in this kind of a project?
I mean, now if you think of what we're going to achieve as the time goes on, so nothing is too expensive for what you are going to achieve more into. So the first thing you sit down and cost what you achieve. Okay, after you cost what you achieve, and you know that this thing is going to work, and it's going to promote your business. It's going to promote everything you do, and in a short while you're going to recover it back. So there is no need of you not investing into it. You just make up your mind. We make up our mind and come together and arrest the situation. That's just it. There's not too much about it. You don't inquire. It's not everybody. If you want everybody to do it, so I'm going to talk you down. But there are a few people who understand the use of the power, and they really wanted the power because of their businesses. You understand? And when you understand what you do and what you gain, you will do anything to arrest the situation of power, so that your business and your little entrepreneur can go on. Because when we keep looking on the government, we'll be disappointed all the time. So, and I think we, individual, as you said, can arrest this situation. When 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agree and say, this is what we do. Depends on our business. Depends on what we do. And we are going to achieve it back.
I think I also want to agree with you to an extent, because the current Act of 2023, that means the Electricity Act of 2023, has also given leverages for private investors, organized private sector to also come together and acquire licenses from Nigerian Regulatory Commission, who will give them licenses for microgrid, mini grid, as well as large grid, for them to be able to establish their own power generating setting. But from what Doc is saying right now, it means that even, small businesses, small scale businesses can also come together. Acquire some of these electricity power project initiatives.
Yes.
So from your experience now, has it really paid off in terms of the gains for your group and for the businesses you guys are doing within that sector?
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. For instance, this place today, we are not using light.
We are using, as I'm speaking to you, we are using gen.
You are using gen.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you understand the cost of gen, for month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, up to 1 year, is enough also for you to inquire this solar and all those things that whatsoever that can generate light to empower this whole thing, this whole place. But if you look at the cost of gen or diesel, or that you are using for or diesel, you know, for recently is 945. Okay.
Then this is 1,100.
This is 1,100. And if you are using 20,000 diesel empowering this place every day, and if you calculate it between a month, you will know how much you have lost. And if you can close your eyes and inquire for money and get a solar to put on this place and begin to run the calculation of how much you are spending in diesel for monthly and yearly, you understand that what it will take you to empower this place without gen is not going to take over 3 months or 4 months of you acquiring diesel and fuel. So there are some people who, few of us will just close eye and said, let's put the diesel outside, let's put the gen outside, let's put fuel outside, let's go for this solar or something, so that we can use to empower our business. And with this, continuously, you will calculate how much you have wasted if you are using diesel. 20,000 a day, and you calculate 5 days is 100,000. And
the weekend is also there.
Weekend is also there. Okay. Then you understand between a month and 2 months how much you have lost to get diesel and to the repairing of the gen to the plant. You are repairing the plant. Maintenance fees and the rest. You know how much you have wasted in maintenance fees and acquiring of diesel, trying to empower the place. And you will understand that if you source some money and get solar and other things, it's not going to take more than 3-4 months of the money you are using. But sometimes we don't understand this. We keep spending this money monthly, yearly, because we think it's favorable to us. But it's not favorable to us. And sometimes when we acquire solars, for example, now for instance, you get a solar of 10 million to empower this place. And you also understand that you can also connect to your next neighbor. You understand me? You can connect to your next neighbor. Because you will now find out that the solar, the current is much. And you need to extend to the next person. You understand it now? And you extend to the next person. And for that 10 million, and you are using 20,000 a day, you calculate how long you are going to exhaust with that 10 million. But this solar you just inquire is going to take years upon years.
Doc, because of time and so also get more input from me in regards to your experience, engaging in alternative source of energy to power your business, and your advice and encouragement to other business, outfit out there. Something very striking also come to my mind now in regards to the spending on energy source and the cost that comes with it. In all these, how has it really helped you to deliver services properly to your customer and to your client? What I mean is that with the use of power, with the lower cost that we're inquiring, has it really helped you as a business owner so that other business owners out there can also learn and understand why alternative source of energy will help in reducing the cost of energy source in our business?
Yes, it has really helped me. And And there are many who have understood it, and it has also helped them. Because we can't put all our focus and trust, and we can't put all our focus on one basket on realizing on energy from the government.
Exactly.
So we have to look for alternative, which is this I just said, power sector, the rest, solar and the rest, to empower our business. And I came to understand that in this, we started even getting more than focusing on the power from the power sector. Because even the power, you can't get it. So it reduces your costs of business. It reduces your production. So you can't produce the way you're supposed to be producing. Because, for instance, now, sometimes we don't even get the light a week. We don't get the power a week. So, and you need power to produce. So what will happen to your production? The things will begin to die gradually. And that is why you see some people folding, because they can't produce and they can't keep getting diesel to get this thing done. Is wasting of resources. I put it wasting of resources.
And you are so emphatic about that wasting of resources.
I put it a wasting of resources, because when you calculate how much you spend of getting this one fuel, trying to make some production from your empire or whatsoever, you will understand even the gain you are supposed to be getting, you have exhausted not only your gain, including your capital, into trying to acquire power.
Exactly. I think I will take that from you, because recently the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria came out and said that many of their members have ended up spending both their capital and their profit on energy. And one of the things that federal government
it will still pay you.
Exactly.
It will still pay you.
Exactly.
So I think most people who have a private business should close their eyes from energy. Should blind their eye, blindfold their eye from energy. Go and call your power, solars or whatsoever that can take this thing up.
Although in that regards, a lot of advocacy and enlightenment is ongoing in regards to energy sources, that even the federal government on its own has been putting out there that we need to embrace reliable energy source, particularly alternative one that could help us. And recently, even in national, the Villa also budgeted some money for alternative energy source. Doc, I need to appreciate you for coming on the show today. Although we will still have to engage you more on developing issues within the area of energy source, particularly as an entrepreneur who have been able to understand how to reduce the cost of operation by engaging in alternatives. It has become one of the advocacy of the federal government of Nigeria that businesses must embrace this aspect. But before I let you go, another very key issue that you just have to touch is, how can we encourage government, particularly government in the south of Nigeria, to make sure that they take care of it? Because you are a business owner in the south of Nigeria, and what do they need to do to ensure that entrepreneurs will not go instincts in the area because of high cost of energy? So what's your advice to the government of the south of Nigeria?
Thank you, sir. I advise the government of the south of Nigeria. I mean, if other area are talking about power and energy, it shouldn't be from the south, because we are producing oil and gas, and it takes nothing for the south governors to come together and said, let's arrest these issues. If it's beyond the government, let's bring a foreign body to it. If we bring a foreign body and we are getting the light and there is increment on light bill, the people are ready to pay. They will pay for what they are saying. But you don't expect them to pay for what they are not saying. You don't expect them to pay for what they are not using. So I advise the governor and the government of South to look deeply into the issue of power in the South. Okay, we have our NDDC commission who can also take this as a burden. And we have other commissions from each of the states. Like in my state, Delta State, we have the SOPADEC and all that. Most of this money they're wasting for doing this, which is not relevant. They should focus it into the power sector. Because I saw they spending money for what is not relevant. And those money can be spent, can be focused into the power sector. It's going to help the government as well. It's going to grow the government. It's going to build the government. If you want your state, sir, mind it, quote me. if you want your state to grow, you must understand the use of power.
Exactly. I'll take it from you. If you want your state to be economically buoyant, and ensure that the potential of your state is tapped, make sure you, as a state government, you invest in electricity power. Doc, it's nice talking to you today.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We hope to have you very soon on Market Report Show.
Thank you, sir.